Say hello, Bill.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. This is the Morning Exiles Facebook Live broadcast. Glad to have you with us. You got the camera on?
Camera's on.
Do a close-up of you. Let us show
why
it.
do we want to do that?
We want to see your brand new microphone.
Oh, that. Well, we got to move the sign.
Oh, I will. Can you see it?
Ooh, isn't that shiny?
Last time I saw one of those in live use, you know who was on the other end of it?
Who?
Stevie Wonder.
Wow. This is an Electro Voice RE27D.
It is the big dog.
It is the big dog.
And you got all your switches now. You know you have switches back there. You got them set properly?
I didn't mess with them. I figured let's just go see how it sounds.
You have it set for flat.
Well, you know.
Which, I mean, with your voice, you don't need any of that stuff.
Do we need it set for big fat belly? How's that sound?
I don't think that switch is on there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an assumption they make when they build them. You know who else used to use one of these? LaFontaine, Don LaFontaine.
In a world.
Now, a little more. Come on, get closer.
In a world where no one sounds like Don LaFontaine.
You're close, though. You're close.
That man was the very, very best of the best of the best.
The voice.
With honors. I'm looking for us on where is it?
Well, it says we're live now. Look, there we are. Hang on. It says we're live now.
I don't know what the hell it is with my Facebook page.
Well,
now let's just get after it.
Did you clear that new mic with the Facebook police?
Maybe that's what it is. The fact checkers say this is not a factual mic. Let me pull out to a wide shot and introduce you to our guest this morning. Some of you are going to recognize this gentleman right away, Eric Guirard, who is running for mayor president of East Baton Rouge Parish. Good to have you on the program. How are you?
I am great. Thanks for having me on.
Good to see you, as always. Let's get right to it. A very crowded field.
Yes.
Did that play into your calculus as to whether or not you wanted to throw in on this?
You know, it certainly did. I mean, it got to, I like to say it got to the point where it looked like it was becoming a circus. So I figured they needed.
Well, that was 4 years ago.
Well, it's a circus again, and they need a ringmaster, I figured this time. So that's why I kind of decided to throw my hat in the ring. In addition to, of course, I'm a lifelong resident of Baton Rouge. I've been here my whole life. Grew up in Goodwood home sites. And I've just, finally, I'd gotten fed up to the point where I said, look, we have an undereducated, a traffic-laden, crime-ridden, business-unfriendly city with, to boot, bad community relations and bad quality of life. Something's got to change, and I figured, well, you know, why not?
You've run for office before.
Yes, I have.
Do you think that is going to help you or hurt you this time around?
Hire me to fire me, for those of you who have been around.
I remember that one, yeah.
I
didn't think it was your best strategy, by the way.
Well, you know, I didn't think, and I still don't think, that the lieutenant governor really should even exist. I mean, their only job really is to sit around and wait for the governor to die. And somebody else could do that.
What about culture, recreation, and tourism?
Well, you know, you could appoint somebody, an actual expert for that instead of having a politician do it. Though, you know.
Fair argument.
Billy's he's a amiable guy, you know.
The most votes of anybody running in the last election.
He sure did. He might have new competition, maybe.
Yeah.
And the highest, but he also got the most votes of any statewide candidate on running for any office.
Yeah.
But he also, during his term, has brought us the highest tourism dollar that we've ever had in Louisiana. So
yeah.
I'm gonna let culture, recreation, and tourism stay there for right now.
Let's get down to the matter at hand, though.
Yeah. Fine.
Eric, what made you want to run for mayor president of East Baton Rouge?
Well, the things I just outlined. You know, I saw the city was falling apart in a lot of ways.
We all see that, but you know, very few of us want to step up and do anything.
Well, that's right. And so, you know, and I'm kind of the kind of guy that wants to kind of get involved, and we all yell at the TV and read the paper and get frustrated. But at some point, you know, someone has to say, well, okay, we all talk about these problems. Let's do it. You know, and the only way is to have the right leadership in a city like this. I wouldn't be a micromanager. I'd have more of a Ronald Reagan type approach than a Jimmy Carter approach. Broad. You know, you could play gotcha with me on a lot of intricacies of the city parish government, but I want to just throw out some broad general ideas and direction and lead that and run with it and bring Baton Rouge to a different level, because it's not at a good level right now.
Everybody who runs for mayor, you're no exception,
right,
talks about education. And I'm going to tell you right now, the mayor president
has nothing to do with it.
has no authority over education at all.
That's
period.
true, but that's true. There's no question about that, except from a bully pulpit kind of perspective. But
Influence.
absolutely. But education affects everything. You name a problem in Baton Rouge, I'll trace it right back to education. We have a horrible, horrible, horrible school system in this city, the public school system, and so that's why my plan is bold, and no one else is going to tout this. I call it fund it, don't run it. I want to scrap the entire public school system in Baton Rouge. I want to take all the money spent on the schools, divide it by the number of kids, give every kid or their parent a credit stipend of some sort where they can take that and go spend it. We do it when we go shopping. We do it when we go to the cleaners. Why don't we use the free enterprise system for the most important thing in our lives, which is our children's brains? I don't understand it. I think it would revolutionize our school system because it's not getting any better.
Where's the mechanism, though? They are their own government. They are their own taxing authority. The mayor-president can't just wave a magic wand and say, I'm doing away with you.
I understand. It had to be, I mean, it's not like I can do that. It had to go to the state legislature, obviously. And it would take some time, obviously. But if you elect someone on that platform, then you have the public push behind it to help me cajole the legislators and the governor to implement this change in this parish. And hopefully others would follow. But I guarantee you, it would create a revolution that we've never seen. There would be educational entrepreneurs from around the country who would descend on Baton Rouge. And you see things we can't even imagine sitting here. None of us are smart enough to figure out what it might be, but I can guarantee you that it would be amazing. We can go from almost last in the country in education to basically first. And I think people say you're a wild man, you're crazy. How can that happen? But it can, because I believe in the kids, and I believe in the free market capitalism system, and if we try it, it can work.
Let's talk about economic development in East Baton Rouge Parish.
Okay.
I think a lot of people are looking at it and saying, we can do better.
Right.
We can attract more jobs. They don't all have to be in petrochem.
That's right.
But we have to have some sort of an organized plan to do so. What is your platform on economic development?
Well, we do need more, and the plan is to have my 5 planks instituted, and that's going to spur on the economic development: education, traffic overhaul, crime solutions, more business-friendly entrepreneur development where people can start and come here to open their businesses. And then finally, just the quality of life, community relations thing. You solve those 5 problems and businesses will come. You don't even necessarily have to have an amazingly detailed plan. You have to have just an area where people want to live. I can't say I got an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old. I can't honestly say right now that I would advise them to live in Baton Rouge the rest of their lives. This is not, I look around the country and this is not the best city for a young family to come to. I want it to be a great city for a young family, professional entrepreneurs to come to. And so you don't need the detailed plan as much as you just need to solve the problems and build it and they will come, kind of thing, like the baseball movie. But just one example, the airport, it needs to be expanded. Albemarle was a multi-billion-dollar international company. It is not here anymore. I happen to know the CEO, and his son was my son's best friend at Episcopal High, where my kids go. Oh, and by the way, my kids had to go to Episcopal High because it's the only school in town starts with the letter E. So we had to go there.
Well, that makes sense.
So
That makes sense.
but they left because Baton Rouge wasn't innovative enough, wasn't moving forward enough, and it didn't have an airport that could get them internationally as easily as a company like that needs to be.
Well, they're in Charlotte, and Charlotte is a major international hub for American Airlines.
All
Yeah,
right,
I
so
get
it
that.
was a good move for them. I don't blame them. But golly, if we'd had a little bit more going on here, maybe we could have held on to an Albemarle. That's what we need. We got Lamar. We have a few other big companies here, but we don't have that level to the extent we need, but we could. And I think we have the culture, we have the location, essentially geographically. We have great food, we have great people. So we have some basic things. Weather's pretty good.
Well, and everybody in business says that. They said, well, we like your people. We like your food. Now, show me the freaking money.
That's right.
So, what are you going to do, and what's the top amount in terms of TIFs, downright tax abatements, and pay for play. Where is your limit? How many millions of dollars are you willing to spend?
Well, I'm a limited government kind of guy, generally speaking. My government philosophy can be boiled down to 5 things. I like less government, more efficient government, government that adheres to the Constitution, government adheres to a budget, and government that maximizes individual liberty and freedom. Those, bam, that's it. So I would hesitate to do a whole lot of that because, again, I think if you throw it open, you have a great atmosphere. You don't need to essentially bribe companies to come here.
Been there, done that. Yes, you do.
Well, you're in competition around the country to some extent, so you got to do some of it. I'm not denying that, but I don't think you have to go overboard.
Well, where's the limits? That's what I'm asking. I'm not asking you to either confirm or deny, because I think you do confirm. I just want to know what's the limit. 5% of the total city parish government for something that'll create 1,000 jobs. 1%, and pay cash or tax increment. Where are your limits here?
Well, I have not. I don't have a specific answer to that, but I would think, just thinking out loud, something in the low percentiles. There should be some monies devoted to that sort of thing. But I think much beyond that level is probably going overboard. I think you're doing more harm than good at some point.
Fair enough. Yeah.
A detriment to economic development is the traffic in our parish.
Oh, God, yeah.
Now, Kip Holden's done a lot to help improve it. Sharon Weston Broom, the first part of her plan, has helped improvement. What needs to be done further, and how would you go about it?
Well, first, and I know everybody says this. So you're going to say, everybody says that. The bridge. I mean, obviously, we don't need another commission. And I think that's the latest thing I've seen was.
No, we need a bridge.
It's like watching one of the football games where they're doing the instant replay and they just won't make a decision. You've seen 15 replays. Just make a decision. The first thing I'd call all the adjacent parish heads together and say, look, let's just decide. Do we need a twin span? Do we need to put one down near Plaquemine? Do we need to do temporarily anyway, use LA1 as a limited access highway and go to the bridge over in Donaldsonville? But let's just make a decision. And so but that's a 10-year deal, obviously, so it takes a long time. I wish we'd have built it instead of building the one down there, the bridge to nowhere in St. Francisville. That'd have been great forward thinking, but we didn't do that.
Yeah, but if you want to go to new roads, that's awesome.
Well, but again,
who the hell wants to go to new roads?
Taxpayers didn't have to foot the bill for a lot of that. Entergy did.
Right, and you could, and I would try to. I know they had the private company had a plan to utilize the old bridge, which would made a ton of sense to me because the Airline Highway north of Florida is so underutilized. And if you look at the way Airline Highway is built, it was built for a limited access highway. There's so much room on each side of that highway.
Lots of easement.
Why don't they do something with that? I mean, but it takes somebody who's going to sit down.
You're talking to the bump, which was Steve Carter's plan from a few years back, and it got down in flames.
Steve Carter could be the next councilman, maybe. Who knows?
Well, right now he's trying for the same office you are.
You and he want the same job.
Oh, Steve Carter. I'm sorry. I was thinking Steve Myers. I got the wrong guy.
No, he's running for council.
Yeah. No, Steve Carter. Yes, right. Steve Carter is a competitor.
But the bump Steve. The bump was Bill and I. At the time when it was a fresh idea, we had him on and we thought it was a brilliant idea.
Yeah, we thought it was a good idea.
Shot down in flames.
Yeah, I know. That's just a shame. But there are ways to so that's a long-term thing. And they are doing some good things with the programs they've instituted here. But one of the biggest problems is I call it 1,000 points of fright. There are a lot of little areas that are just stacking up that cause problems that they just don't seem to address. Like, for instance, I get off at Essen Lane every day off of I-10, headed toward New Orleans. I'm coming from I-12, and the traffic is just hugely backed up because everybody's trying to get to the medical corridor area. It's just unwieldy. Why don't you use that burden development and send another street off? And that's just one example. Segan Lane, you get off at Segan Lane off I-10 all the time. It's a zoo. There's 3 lanes. It goes to 2. You can't get onto Segan, headed toward Airline. So there are points like that all over the city, and I drive the city a lot, and I see them all the time. I say, why don't we just do this? Put an extra road here, do an exit over here. They don't seem to be addressing the little problems. They got the bigger plan in place.
Well, and some of these little problems, unfortunately, are all on state highways. So you can ask, and you can get your delegation in the legislature, but you really can't put a shovel to it.
No, that's true.
Here I think is a more personal question that's going to impact everybody running for this government.
All right, personal.
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel about race relations in this community? How do you relate to the minority population? How do they relate to you? Everybody who's running is going to have to think about this.
Yeah, well, I think I have an advantage. You know, we got 3 black ladies running, and then we got 5 white guys.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, that you're not going to ask that question to the 3 black ladies, but you're going to ask it to the 5 white guys.
No, we're going to ask all of them the same question.
Okay. I grew up here. I've been a personal injury lawyer since 1987. I had my own practice since 1994. I've represented over 30,000 people in this community, most of whom are African American black. So I think I've been in the middle of the black Baton Rougeans for 25 years. I've been in the homes. I still go sign up clients. I go deep into the neighborhoods of the black community all the time, and I sit with people in the poorest of poor houses. And so I have a very good relationship, I think, with them on a personal level. I don't think the other ones can say that, the white guys running. And I've always gotten along well. My dad owned Mid-South Door Company when I was a kid. Y'all may have bought doors and windows from there one day when it was open.
We did.
Well, there you go. And he had a lot of black folks working for him back in those days, and so I've grown up in what I essentially is an intercultural life. I mentioned earlier I grew up in Goodwood Home Sites. That's north of Florida. That's supposed to be the line of demarcation, you know, that separates the white from the black in Baton Rouge. And you know, so I'm comfortable in that environment. I went to the Southern homecoming football game last year. You know how many white people I saw at that game?
Not too many.
Not a lot.
There was 3.
Yeah.
Me and 2 guys that have, and thousands and tens of thousands of black folks. And so, but you know, they know me well from my you know, a lot of my TV campaigns and me just representing folks. And so I've touched innumerable families, either directly through representing them or through them just having family members who are represented by me. So I'm comfortable on a personal level, and I think that I'm kind of in a better position. I think I could probably garner more black votes than the other white guys, actually, because I think they do know me and they do trust me, and I have helped them.
Are you party affiliated, or does that make a difference? Do you think?
I think it helps that I'm not. I mean, I'm an independent party. I didn't even realize that was actually an actual party. I just thought I was independent.
It's kind of going the way of the Whigs, but yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
But when I qualified, they said, "Well, I said I'm not a party member. I'm independent."
You have to select no party if you really don't
Yeah.
want anybody.
But I didn't like the
laying
sound of
claim
that.
to you.
Well, no, because this guy's always a party. So if he selected no party, that would
That's
be
right.
disappointing.
That's right. But I like the idea of the word independent. To me, strikes me as somebody that you want, because I'm the, you know, you got the major candidates. Let's look at the major candidates that are running. You got 5 politicians of the 8. There's 8 of us. 5 politicians: bar owner, elderly, white lawyer, and me. You know, I think I'm in the best position, you know, of the non-politicians to get something done. And again, it's kind of like the whole Trump thing. I mean, I think an outsider is needed, because those people been there, done that. They've tried. I mean, you know, what have you done for me? I mean, I think it's time, if we can put it in a new direction, to get somebody outside that body politic.
Eric, we are coming to the end of this segment.
Oh, no.
And we're going to ask you and all the other candidates back again as your time permits before the election. But what we traditionally do is we take the last 2 minutes and we just basically shut up and we ask you to do your stump speech for everybody that's listening. In other words, why should they vote for you for mayor?
Okay.
So your time starts now, please.
Oh, wow, okay. Well, before I get to, I want to mention one quick thing about traffic. We didn't get to. One of the things I think is a big problem is wrecks, and the reason that we have a traffic problem is because people don't know how to drive. One thing I want to push is an enhanced license requirement in East Baton Rouge Parish for drivers. I know the state won't do it, but it's crazy. You let people have the control of a 4,000-pound death machine with hardly any licensing requirements. You're just asking for trouble. So if you didn't have those wrecks and those bad drivers, that would help alleviate some of the problem. Anyway.
Don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Oh, I know. I'm speaking against my interests. You know, if you want to get rid of the billboards, those obnoxious billboards, folks, on the interstate, you know, have less accidents. Yeah,
All right.
how hard is that? Okay, anyway.
Here's your 2 minutes.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to mention that. Yeah, Fuse the Rouge. It's a unique campaign because I think I want to be the person that can fuse together this parish into one mindset and one community, one city. If you look at my logo, it's a red stick that starts in the 4 major colors of racial people in the world, black, yellow, white, and tan, and it becomes a red stick, and I'm there with it. And so I want to be the mayor of a city that I grew up in. And it comes down to 5 things. It's an ideas campaign. I'm not as important as the ideas that I'm pushing. The first is education. Fund it, don't run it. I want people to be able to take the money for education and go shopping and buy it where you want and let the free market dictate the future of our educational system. Number 2 is traffic. Traffic is horrible. There's ideas you can do. You can build a bridge. You can do the 1,000 points of fright. It's the traffic stupid. Help the people fix it. Number 4, crime. I want to form the Guardian Rouge. I want to take the 2 entities, the city parish police and the sheriff, make one new. I want to see community policing on steroids. But it's going to be called the Guardian Rouge. New uniforms. We're going to be red. We won't be green and blue anymore. We're going to be red, or maybe more of a hip maroon. And we're going to have the red cars. And we're going to restart this city police from the ground up, and fight crime the way it needs to be fought with community development. Lastly, second to last, we have business development. It is a business unfriendly city. I want to do what I can to create new businesses, and that's entrepreneurs. I want young professionals to want to move here. And you do it by creating a friendly, inviting city where people want to come here with a great educational system, which again drives everything. Every problem we have is driven by education. So the second to last thing is you want to have business development. And lastly, community relations. We touched on that. I want to do things. We got to have new mascot. Call him the Tigua, half tiger, half jaguar. We're gonna get this city fit. I'm a fit guy. I'm a fitness crazed person. A lot of the reasons we have a city that doesn't work is because our citizenry is just horribly out of shape and terrible diets. We're one of the most obese cities in the world. So we do everything we can to improve the community relations. There are a lot more things on that end that we can do. But overall, I want to fuse the Rouge. I want people to vote E for mayor. And I think I can do it, and I can provide the leadership that's needed in Baton Rouge.
There you go.
There you go.
Eric Guirard. Some of you know his name, some of you know the E.
He is running for mayor president. The general election is November 3rd. I think we can pretty much guarantee there's going to be a runoff with 8 candidates in the election. But as always, with everybody who takes the time to come with us, we thank you, and we wish you well in this endeavor.
I don't get a parting gift like lead press-on nails or anything?
You get a free consultation with Hans Borghardt.
The home version of the Morning Exiles podcast.
Yes. There you go.
Hey, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me on.
We're going to take our mid-show break here.
Mid-show break.
Take care of a little business when we come back.
Talk to me some more. I want to hear you in that.
Startling figures.
In that new microphone. I want to hear you.
2/3 of Americans are afraid to talk about their political beliefs with others. 2/3. It cuts across party lines. What do you make of that? We're going to talk with an expert.
You know what I do when somebody, because of the way I look, you know what I do when somebody wants to talk to me about politics? I go, no, Italiano, no parlo
Let your
inglese.
eyes just kind of glaze over.
I'm just speaking Italian.
Parla what?
I don't speak English.
Parla what? No, really, regardless whether Republicans, Democrats, 2/3 of us are reluctant or afraid to discuss our political views with others.
I don't care to talk politics with anybody. I really don't.
Well, I was always taught it was impolite, but that's what social media is all about. Dr. Carol Lieberman will be our guest when we return in just a couple of minutes with the Exiles podcast.
Get another cup of coffee.